Again? Just where are you going?
Where are you going? You're not going to the bar again, are you?
You like hanging out, drinking beer at the bar, talking sports? Come on out and join us weekly. Guys at the Bar Talking Sports, your podcast for just that. Hanging out, drinking some beer, talking sports.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Guys at the Bar Talking Sports. They can shut down the whole world. They can try to, anyway, because the one thing they cannot shut down is Guys at the Bar Talking Sports. Y'all know that's true, right, guys?
That's exactly right, because we can go virtual anytime we need to.
We have the technology.
We've gone high tech. So we hired the production team of B Payne Productions, right? We got B Payne Productions. We got a contract with them now, and every week we're gonna do this if we need to, just to make sure that we can keep the Guys at the Bar Talking Sports going. There's no sports to talk about. Y'all know that. But B Payne Productions is going to help us put this thing together, all right? So one thing I did want to bring up, though, is this. So since MJ's is closed, we still got to give them a shout-out every single week, though. We do this from MJ's Bar and Grill typically. Today, my background is a strip club. What do you got on the background of yours there, the Chief?
I got a nice bar behind me.
Yeah, so what are we using? We're using Zoom. Is that the technology we're using right now?
Yep, we're using Zoom, just a Zoom meeting. We got some virtual backgrounds going on. Everybody is it's great.
Except for Chopper.
All I want to do is do a Zoom.
Yeah. So the thing that we're going to be doing is we always introduce ourselves when we're at the bar, right? So I'm going to go around and go ahead and do an introduction, even though we're on Zoom, because we are all drinking beer, right? So, or something. We're all drinking something. The Chief behind him, he's got a
something is right.
There. Yeah.
I've
so
gotten
Chief,
that.
what you drinking, man?
Maker's Mark and ginger beer.
That's right. You like the diet ginger beer, though.
Correct. Zero calories.
0 calories, Maker's Mark, and diet ginger beer. So what you been up to, Chief? Last time you were on the show was probably about a month ago or so. And the whole world had not shut down at that point. We were still in the midst of the the beginning of the NCAA tournaments, I think, or on our way to them, right? So
yeah.
What you been up to since then?
Well, I've been spending a lot of time at home. And
haven't we all?
Last weekend was pretty awesome. The weather was incredible, so we took the boat out. And one of the few things I'm keep waiting for that shoe to drop, but took the boat out.
We'll shut that down soon enough, man. They're gonna be like, no boats.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna take your keys. We're taking your keys from you.
We're gonna block the ramps.
Yeah, they're gonna make it so no one could do anything, I'm sure. The first thing that dropped, though, was NBA basketball, right? And then everything fell apart from there. All of a sudden, everything was canceled. Then the government starts canceling everything. And here we are, though. They can't cancel us. I keep on saying it because we are guys in the bar talking sports. We're guys in our houses drinking beer. So
we can't be denied. Hey, what's going on?
But the British Open canceled, was it yesterday? Or today?
Yeah. Wimbledon canceled.
That also canceled.
Yeah.
Both
so
of them.
They're getting rid of everything. Yeah, exactly. Choppa, what you drinking, Choppa?
How's everybody doing out there? I've really missed all of y'all. All of our active. It's very sad. Very sad. In the quarantine, though, my level of sophistication has really risen, and
sophistication. I don't even know if that's a word, but okay.
It is, yeah. So
it is, okay.
We'll
have our people in the back look it up, you know?
It is
we'll have
now.
Our production team look it up.
Yeah. Back of MJ's looking up.
Yeah, exactly.
But tonight, I'm enjoying a fine Chianti from Italy.
Okay. Oh, wow. Oh, that's right. You drink wine. So Choppa drinks wine during the winter time, but now it's spring. Are you going to drink wine all summer or what?
I don't know. It's kind of a quarantine thing, you know. I just.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know. It just feels better during the quarantine. Wine. I don't know why.
Yeah. You know what I've become what I've become an expert on during the quarantine?
What's that?
Facebook, man.
An,
Facebook.
an expert on Facebook?
I think I spend all my time on Facebook. I don't know why, but I just love looking at stupid memes about the quarantine. I don't know.
Well, it is serious stuff. It is serious stuff.
I know. All right, so you know who else we got on here? We got the dude. The dude himself. Yep. He's about to lose the nickname because
technical difficulties. I'm back.
Did you jump?
He's back. We got the dude on here, and we're about to give you back the nickname Crazy K because you haven't gotten us on the dude yet, the radio station. But what you drinking, the dude?
The dude is outside the bar.
Oh my gosh,
dude,
I'm having really bad.
He might have went to the bathroom.
You got to kick your son off the video games.
Yeah, he's streaming way too many video games right now. That NFL.
That's exactly what's going on.
That Madden playing with his friends in Colorado, you know?
That's right.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and wait for the dude to come back, and we're going to get on with this show then. The dude is probably drinking water, from my understanding, but he might be drinking a beer. You never know.
I don't know. He looks he looks really frozen right now.
Yeah, so on the Zoom thing, we have these 4 screens, and he's totally looking frozen right now.
Whoa,
and now he's
gone. That was a good look for him, though, a minute ago.
That was a good look for him.
That was a very nice look for him. Tell him that he can get on send him a text message and say he can come over here and get on my internet. He lives right across the street from me, so it shouldn't be a problem, all right? Hey, guys, so this is what I heard while I was listening to some college or NCAA. I guess it was, ESPNU. That's the channel I listened to on the radio. And what I found out is that college basketball, college baseball, college everything except for football is pretty much non-existent, right? Or they don't care about that. All they care about is football because when there's nothing else going on, that's what they're talking about is football. They did give a little bit of talk about basketball, but most of it's been football talk. So we all know college football rules the world anyway. But one of the things that they were saying was this. NCAA canceled all practices for the spring. Like everything's done, right? Possibly into the summer, there's going to be no practices whatsoever. A lot of the coaches are doing virtual coaching sessions, and that's about all they can really do. But they can still train. They can still get in there and do weights on their own, I think. But I don't even know if that's possible because I've heard that they've closed the weight rooms as well. So what is that going to do to college football in the fall? What do you think, Chief?
They are allowing people – oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, you can go on, Chopper. That's fine, man. No big deal.
I'm sorry, I jumped in there. They are allowing people to have an extra year of eligibility, right?
They are letting, supposedly they're going to maybe not for the fall football, if we even have fall football.
And so spring and winter sports got an extra year. That's already a done deal.
Spring and winter, yeah. Okay. So the thing is that I'm saying, though, is that they canceled all practices for college football, and they do 7 dressed games in the spring, and then through the summer they do several dressed games as well. So full dress, team against team, and they get there and play. And that kind of helps them work out all the kinks. That helps the freshmen learn the plays. That helps everyone to learn the new plays that are coming on and so forth. So is that gonna be a messy season going into the fall if they even have college football?
I think it's going to be sloppy as all get out. Not having spring football, not having dress outs. You know, we don't know when they're going to get to start really practicing and playing as a team again.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Imagine your first full dress game is, your first game against Alabama or something. I mean, could you imagine? Somebody's
going to do it.
Yeah. So who's going to benefit from this, though? What do you think about that, Chief? Like, what type of team is going to benefit from that?
I think the strong schools like Alabama, SEC, Big Ten, the top tier of the Big Ten, top tier of the SEC, Clemson. The schools that have been on top this past year, they're drawing top players, and I think those top players can integrate quickly and can get it together quickly. I think the folks who are going to get hurt are the schools that potentially had up and coming, we're going to have an up and coming season, but
Mhm.
needed that time to get that playbook going. I think back a few years, Chopper, to Auburn a few years ago. Gus Malzahn was not supposed to have a great season. I think it was about 3 or 4 seasons ago, and he just had this incredible season. But they got better every game.
Yeah, that's true. And they get better every game through practicing as well, I'm sure. When it really comes down to it, like you see the progression of every single game, right? You see it throughout the season, so you also see it throughout the spring and the summer. So that's going to affect a team like Auburn, who is a relatively young team, right, Chopper?
Yeah, what I'm thinking about more is the seniors that are given an extra year that aren't going for, say, NFL talent. They're going to stay around, right? For another year. Why wouldn't you, right?
Well, they didn't give an extra. They didn't give an extra year to football.
Oh, did they not?
No, only major sports. It's basketball and baseball, but it's winter and spring sports all got an extra year.
Okay, but they haven't done that yet, and if that happens in any sport, what does that do? How does that impact the incoming freshmen? Right.
For sure.
You've got people that want to come in and play that are looking to take spots that seniors have, and what does that do if the seniors are still there, right? And I know that hasn't impacted
for sure.
football yet, but what are going to be the big implications of that?
Does that kill recruiting? Because of that?
That's what I was going to say is, the kid who wanted to go to, let's say, Ohio State might say, I'm going to go play at Northwestern or somewhere, Purdue.
That's exactly right. It might actually make the smaller schools stronger.
Yeah, but without the practice, like this season's just going to be disgusting to watch. I mean, all the SEC teams, all the Big Ten teams, the teams that are that have great programs, they should be generally fine, but the freshmen will be very sloppy for sure. The freshmen will be super sloppy. Then you'll have everyone else they just haven't played together for a while. It's going to be challenging to watch the first couple of games for sure.
Yeah.
Which teams have tons of seniors? Can you guys think about that in the SEC specifically? I mean, Carolina's going to look rough this year.
I want to say Georgia and LSU, right?
LSU.
I think Georgia and LSU are going to have big changes, right? So a lot of the leadership that they had on their team is gone, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I know that they could get some transfers in. Out of the portal.
Does this encourage
transfers? But
does this encourage teams to look further into the transfer portal at that point rather than looking for incoming freshmen?
I think it does.
You got to.
I mean, if you're at Alabama or Clemson and you're 5-star athlete and you're third string, I mean, you got to get out of there, right?
Yeah, and you have the opportunity to go play at Florida. You get the opportunity to go play at South Carolina.
Absolutely. Get out and
decide
play.
to go do it. Yeah. Go play anywhere except for where you're at because you know that you're just not going to be getting the practice that you would normally have as well. You're not going to have the chance to shine.
That's exactly right. So, hopefully it kind of closes the gap in talent between these teams a little bit.
Yeah, I was going to say it may level the field. True. We see everybody much closer and everybody with 1 or 2 losses instead of the haves and the have-nots.
Yeah, it might be a good thing.
Halfway through the season, you have 10 or 15 undefeated teams still, and then it starts to fall down from there. But still having 3 or 4 undefeated teams at the end of the season, that seems like it happens pretty regularly, right? Maybe that won't happen this year. Be harder to judge, though, for that top 4 teams at the end.
Yeah, the top the schools that have the talent that are likely to be in the playoff, they're not going to lose any of their key players. The schools that they might lose the third stringers, but they're not going to be necessarily key. The schools that are desperately in need, maybe they have 75% of what it takes. They might be able to pick up 2 or 3, a wide receiver, a running back, a quarterback, safety, and be able to make a huge difference in what their season looks like.
Yep.
I agree with that. That's a good point.
For sure. It'll be interesting to see what happens. I mean, I hope that they even have college football this year. This can't drag on this much longer. But you never know what's going to happen. They could just say, shut it down forever,
I mean, it could very well be that. It's going to be.
I heard someone say, shut down. I heard someone in, I don't know if it was the Trump administration or some scientist or something said that they need to just shut it down until there's no more new cases of coronavirus and there's no more deaths. And it's that's going to go on until next year then, if that's the case. So
I went to the grocery store the other day and they had plenty of cases of corona.
That's good, yes. but you can't find toilet paper to wipe your ass for nothing. Excuse my language. So, I mean, I don't know how many stores I've been to looking for toilet paper when my wife told me to go out and find some. Because I am an essential employee, by the way, guys. So I get to go out and do whatever I want to. I even have a slip of paper that says I'm an essential employee, so I can go out and find toilet paper for you all over North and South Carolina if you ever need it. All right?
Yeah, I do too.
Just letting you know, I'm taking orders now. So
that's right.
Moving on, man. Since the last time we talked, the last time we had a show, actually a live show, the talk was about where Brady was going, pretty much, right? So since that happened. Now we know where Brady's going. Where's he going? Chopper, where's he going?
Buccaneers.
The Buccaneers.
Tampa Bay.
That's right, down to Tampa Bay, yeah. That's the
shout
biggest...
out to the Hilts.
Yeah, shout out to the Hilts. I'm sure he listens every week intently waiting for the show to come out, too.
He does. Listeners our listeners in Tampa.
To all of our listeners in Tampa, that's right. We have millions of listeners across the world. At least one of them lives in Tampa for sure. So that's the biggest. Do you think that's the biggest transfer? That's the biggest transfer, right? What do you? I mean, there's no other there's no other free agent that's going anywhere else that's bigger than that, right?
Well, I mean that's media hype, but I think Phillip Rivers is a strong quarterback.
And where is he going to? He's going over to shoot.
Is it Indy?
Doggone it, man. Indiana. Yeah, Indianapolis. That's it. Yep. Yeah, he's going to the Colts. Yeah. So yeah, that's a pretty big one too. And he didn't get he got a little bit of hype, but everything was talking about Tom Brady. I mean, everyone was just wondering what was going on. Anytime he sent a tweet out about anything, that was the entire headline for the day at that point on ESPN radio. For sure.
Well, and I heard they don't need their pressure gauges anymore in Tampa Bay, so we're good there.
Yeah, they definitely don't. Yeah, they definitely don't need that. They actually are forming a squad of people to help them out to deflate those footballs. Right now, I am a huge Patriots fan. I've been a Patriots fan since they played the Bears in the 1986 Super Bowl, which was actually for the '85 season. And that's the first football game I remember watching. So,
well, you were a Patriots fan in that?
Yes, during that time.
Wow.
I went.
During
that was
Jim
the first.
McMahon, Walter Payton, refrigerator, Harry.
Wow. Yeah. So they played the Bears and they got beat.
Yeah.
And everyone that was in my school was going for the Bears because they were all New York Giants fans. Because I grew up in Connecticut. At the time, I lived in Connecticut, and you were either a Patriots fan or you were a Giants fan. There was very few Jets fans in Connecticut, but everyone went for the Bears because they didn't like the Patriots, obviously, because that's kind of, in New England. Yeah, but anyway, it really sucked being a Patriots fan until this little 20-year era that's been going on. And now with Brady leaving, it's just it hurts my heart, guys. It really does. I'm not going to cry, but I do feel terrible about this, man. But I do like Tampa Bay as well because from the time I was 8 or 9 years old until my adult life, I lived in Florida, and there was 3 teams you could root for in Florida. You got Miami, you got Tampa, and you got Jacksonville. Well, I always went for Tampa because it was the closest team, but And they did pretty good in the early 2000s, but that
Well,
defense
Hager,
was absolutely.
I'm going to give you a quote. That quote
Okay.
is nothing lasts forever, even cold November rain.
yeah, that's true. That is true. Yeah, that's a good quote, man. Is that from Guns N' Roses, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Axel.
But what do you guys think? Is Tampa Bay a good place for Tom Brady to come to? What do you think, Chief? You're an expert in this stuff, right?
I think Tampa Bay is actually a really great place for Tom Brady to go. All the blue hairs are retiring down there, so I say that a little tongue in cheek, but in all seriousness,
are you saying since he's a retiree, he should probably end up in Tampa because of that?
No, I was being a little tongue in cheek. I was being sarcastic. But think about this. This is a team that realistically can only go up, and he's gonna fire up the players. He's gonna fire up the fans.
Uh-huh.
If he plays 1 year, great. If he plays 2 years, even better.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to win a Super Bowl? Probably not. But I do think they're going to be fired up and they're going to have a really good season, maybe their best season.
It's damn sure a good investment for Tampa Bay to bring him in there to get those fans back. Because in the late '90s, early 2000s, when Tampa Bay was on fire, I mean, it was insane over there. They just built a new stadium. They had that pirate ship in the back with the cannons blowing, the whole 9 yards. But it's been kind of dead for the last 15 years, Well,
one thing
so probably be a good thing.
One thing I thought that was really cool the owners did, they kept the prices of season tickets for existing season ticket holders, but the prices for anybody who wasn't have gone up dramatically.
Okay.
So that's how they're paying for Tom.
But Tampa is a great place to retire, right?
Oh, it's awesome.
Fantastic place to retire, right?
Yeah. So
I mean,
he has a 2-year contract, if I remember correctly, so he will be retiring there.
Yeah, I mean, if you are in New England and you've got a couple years left, why not move to Florida, retire, and be down in Tampa? You don't want to be in Massachusetts when you retire.
Well,
you want to be down in Florida, right?
Hold on, you're a god in New England, bro. Like, that guy can walk into any restaurant and the food's paid for in New England.
But he's going to be down.
Tampa, same deal.
I mean, Tampa, it's going to be beautiful.
He doesn't have no state income tax.
That's true. Good point. Yeah, you're taxed out the yin-yang in Massachusetts for sure. To all our Massachusetts listeners, I'm sorry for dissing your state, but the taxes are very high there. Yes, they tax them right out of there, I'm sure. So you might as well take those millions and take them down to Tampa.
He has done the smart thing. They're going to love him down in Tampa, regardless of whether or not they are undefeated or 8-8. They're going to love him down here, and they're going to go and see him. They're going to pack the stadium, regardless of whether or not they win or lose. Just because Tom Brady.
I would go there and watch the game just because of Tom Brady.
I would.
And at the end of the season, the December games, the January games, if you're in the playoffs, if he's got home field advantage in New England, it's still, let's face it, you're chilly. You're playing down in Tampa, the weather's perfect to play football in that time of year.
Yep. So he's replacing Jameis Winston, who I absolutely despise. Jameis Winston. Not only
don't sugarcoat it. Tell us how you really feel.
Yeah, I hate Jameis Winston more than any other football player that I've ever seen. Only because he's such a scumbag and he treated women like crap at Florida State, and he went to Florida State, and he won a national championship at Florida State, and he steals freaking crab legs from from grocery stores. I hate the guy, and I don't hate anybody in my life. You guys know this about me. I don't hate anybody, but I hate Jameis Winston with a passion, and I'm glad they're giving him the samurai kick right out of that freaking stadium and putting him somewhere else, and I don't think anyone's going to pick him up. What do y'all think?
Somebody's going to pick him up as at least a second stringer.
Absolutely. He'll be picked up. Yeah,
You know,
he's
I've
way
heard
way
that
too
he
athletic.
is uncoachable. I've heard he's uncoachable. That's what I mean. But he's a good quarterback, besides the 30 interceptions that he had last season. But that could have been a personnel issue, not a Jameis Winston issue. But
Hey, when you go to being the star quarterback that is cocky and knows what he's doing, to all of a sudden you don't have, a starting role, it's probably quite a humbling experience. And he's probably
he never
doing
lost a game in high school or in college.
well, he's probably doing
Never
some soul
lost a game.
searching right now, as is Cam Newton, and they're probably got to figure out, hey, what am I going to do now? If I have to take a backup role, I have to take a backup role. I have to realize that is where I'm at now. They have to be humble about that.
Who do you pick if you're an NFL team and you need a second string quarterback? Who do you take first? Jameis Winston, who's younger, right? He's a year younger than Cam?
Yeah.
Or Cam
probably.
Newton? Who do you take? Because
Cam Newton. Oh, no, Cam Newton's all kinds of injuries, though, man. I don't know.
That's my thinking.
Yeah.
Cam Newton's he's been beat the hell up. Whereas Jameis Winston, probably, besides the fact that he's just a cocky son of a bitch.
I think Cam has had a better NFL career, though, right?
He has had a much better. Oh yeah, absolutely, much better NFL career.
Yeah. Well, he led his team to the Super Bowl until he fell apart. What was that? The first 30 seconds of the first quarter?
Yeah,
that is correct. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but he's a great quarterback, but he's not. I don't know. I don't think I'd take either of them. I mean, obviously, someone's going to pick him up as a second string, and they have some.
Oh
good,
yeah.
So that brings me to the next person I have on my list. Teddy Bridgewater is going to be the quarterback for the Panthers. That's where he's going. Teddy Bridgewater. I don't even know who he is. He played for Louisville, and he's coming from New Orleans. He was the backup to Drew Brees. You know how much they're paying this guy? They're paying him
like $21 million?
A 3-year contract for $63 million.
So,
yeah,
didn't he play at Minnesota 1 year? Did he play at Minnesota?
He did.
Yeah.
Get more wine.
Is he going to be a leader? That's the question. Because the Panthers, that's one thing that when Cam's on, Cam is the leader. They're going to need a leader in Carolina. And who's the guy on defense? Luke
Kuechly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He retired, didn't he?
Yeah, he's either retired or going somewhere else. So
I think he was retiring.
Yeah, so he was the other leader on that team.
Yeah.
So here's the thing about Teddy
Bridgewater
too. Teddy Bridgewater came in for Drew Brees last year in New Orleans, right? And I think I don't remember how many games, like 5 or 6 games, and he was undefeated,
no, Drew Brees was out for a little while,
And so he had a good stretch of games in New Orleans playing in place of Drew Brees, and he had I think he might have even gone undefeated. We can have the guys in the back check that, but so he's coming out. He's coming out hot from last season, and I mean that kind of raised his stats again. Now, do I think he's going to go into Carolina and lead that team and be successful there like Cam was?
I guess we'll see. I mean,
I don't think so. I
don't think he has a track record, man.
I'm a big Cam fan, but obviously, he
left Louisville in He left Louisville, I believe, in 2012, is what I saw.
Yeah, he had a good. He was great at Louisville.
He was awesome. I saw him play there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's back when they had a pretty solid couple seasons under him then, if I remember correctly, if it was that particular era.
Sure.
So that's an interesting, but $63 million, that's nice, man. I'll take that check. I'll get in there and throw some footballs for him, Todd Gurley. Where did Todd Gurley play running back at? I was trying to I didn't have time to look that up, but the name is super familiar. Is it Georgia that he played at? Todd Gurley?
Georgia.
Or no?
Yes,
Gurley.
Todd Gurley played at Georgia. Yes.
Georgia, yeah. Running back, he's going to the Falcons. He's going home then, man.
Yes, he's
pretty
going
much
home. He's
Yeah,
going
that's
from
a
the
good pick.
Rams. He's going from the
Uh-huh.
Rams to the Falcons, man. That's a great.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, they're gonna love him down there, man. He's going back to the Georgia Dome, and
They're
he's
gonna
played
go
down there.
insane to have a local boy back there.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
They all
man.
he was a
for him.
first round for Los Angeles in 15.
Todd Gurley
Yeah.
is an absolute beast, and I'm not a huge Georgia fan, but I know enough to say Todd
No,
Gurley is a beast.
There's
He's a
just
beast.
something about Georgia quarterbacks that destroy the Florida Gators defense every freaking season, man. And Todd Gurley was definitely one of those for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
I was glad to see him leave, but then they always have great running backs down there. I mean, that's just what Georgia's
Yeah,
teams
they
have
went
been known
straight
for.
from Gurley to Chubb.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's sickening. I'll tell you what. So that's going to be an interesting spot for him to go. Are there any other free agents that are going someplace that you guys wanted to bring up? Though I know that there was one. I just can't find it on my list that the Chief
I know
wanted
some
to bring
that
up. What do you got,
going.
Chief?
I got one that's not going anywhere right now. It's Jadeveon Clowney. He's
Yeah, South Carolina guy, man. What's up with that?
He was amazing at South Carolina. You did not want to be on the offensive line because you knew you were going to get chewed out after he got past you. He got to the quarterbacks more than anybody in SEC football. Fast forward, he gets into the NFL. He plays for Houston. Then he's at Seattle, and he just can't seem to either get it together or keep it together. And if he keeps it together, he gets injured. And
there's been a couple injuries too.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
So
and once you get injured, I mean, it's hard to come back from that sometimes in the NFL.
So
You're going against guys that haven't been injured. So
he and his agent thought free agent class he's going to be like top tier pick. They were floating around $20 million a year, not getting it, and now they're taking about a 15% or more hit, and they're saying $17 million, but they want a longer contract. I still think he's got a lot in him. If he can stay injury free, I think if a team can get him for a discount price, like more than I'll ever make in my life, but he'll make in 1 year. But if a team can get him for a discount price and he produces, they will have hit a home run.
Yeah,
if you're getting Jadeveon Clowney
for
a discount price, that's unbelievable. What
I know.
Oh, I don't know if you.
I mean, our boy, who was it, G Boogie? I mean, when he's last week, if you guys remember, we all submitted some videos and stuff, and we had some of our listeners. Thank you very much, by the way. They submitted just different videos and stuff that they found on YouTube. And one of the things that G Boogie submitted was Clowney just freaking walloping somebody, and it was just amazing to watch. It brings back good memories of Carolina. I mean, I've been a Florida Gator fan, but I've always kept an eye on the Carolina Gamecocks simply because Steve Spurrier was there. So I mean, it was fun to watch him.
That poor Michigan running back got his head knocked off in that
Got
play.
destroyed. Yeah, it was insane.
My
What were we about to say,
goodness.
Chief?
Unbelievable.
I heard you.
Yeah, I was just thinking about they're floating a rule change. I know we're not supposed to say these three letters right now, but the XFL has the Sky official or the Sky ref.
Okay.
It's now a proposal in the NFL to do something similar for this coming season, and it's got backing. They got two teams have proposed very similar options on that. So
The Sky Judge, okay.
Yeah, Sky
That'll
Judge,
be
thank you.
interesting to see. Yeah, I mean, I think it worked pretty well in the XFL for the 4 games that they played, or whatever it was. So I wanted to bring that up, actually. XFL. I mentioned this on our Facebook group, but if you're not a member, if you're listening and you're not a member, go ahead and look up Guys at the Bar Talking Sports on Facebook and you'll find it. But
do it now.
I mentioned on the Facebook group. Yeah, do it now. The Facebook group, I mentioned it and I said,
I think that the XFL is going to benefit from if they end up shutting down college football for next season. The XFL is going to benefit because they're going to be on the back end. They're going to be coming up in February, and everyone that is wanting to play football, do you think they drop out of college and go play in the XFL? What do you think? The top tier players, do they leave college and go play at the XFL?
No.
I don't think you drop out if you have eligibility left, but if you're running low on eligibility, that might be the ticket, because I've seen a lot of buzz this week about XFL players being picked up by the NFL. So they're getting noticed. Somebody's watching them.
Yeah, oh yeah, there's clearly NFL recruiters there just keeping an eye on these guys for sure. And it happened back when the XFL was going on in 2000, 2001 as well. I mean, what was the one, Ocho Cinco or something, that whatever the hell his name was? Like, he ended up going to play for someone. I can't remember who it was. Did he play for the Rams, or who did he play for?
Ocho Cinco?
Yeah, we guess we got our people in the back look it up. But what I was just thinking to myself is that
Chad Johnson.
Chad Johnson.
Yeah, he played for Oregon State and 11 seasons with Cincinnati, New England, and Miami.
Cincinnati, okay, that was it. Yeah, New England, that's right, and then in Miami. So I mean, he played in the XFL originally, and then he moved over to the NFL and had 11 seasons. That's pretty strong for a wide receiver too. A lot of wide receivers only make it a couple of seasons because they're getting walloped every time they catch the ball. So, I mean, that'll end up happening with these XFL players. They'll end up going to the NFL. But will it allow the new portal to be the XFL from college to XFL and then into the NFL for a lot of these players?
I think it'll be more I think you got to worry a little bit more about the middle level talent than the top level talent going to the XFL. In times like these, the top level guys are going to be in team meetings. They're going to be in workouts. Their coaches are going to be all over them, making sure that they don't leave and putting them in things and interacting with them in ways to where they can't go anywhere and do anything. Otherwise, they might jeopardize their starting position, right? It's the guys sitting behind those guys that are seeing all of those individuals being, in the rooms with the coaches, doing this and doing that and doing these interactive sessions and doing this, and not being involved in that. And, I would question more the middle level talent, saying, okay, why aren't they including me in that? Maybe I should go play in the XFL right now.
And
right?
I don't see top tier players going, what's the risk? If I play college ball, I'm going to get seen on TV. I'm going to get picked up, top tier guys, picked up by recruiters. And my value on my first contract is going to be much higher than my value would be if I take a $55,000 a year contract with the XFL.
Yeah,
correct. You have to look long-term.
You do have to look long-term, especially with these top-tier players.
And every single coach is going to sit down with their top players and explain exactly that, right? You have to look long-term. And most of the players will buy into that.
Yeah. Do you think that the coronavirus saved the XFL for next season, though? That's what I'm convinced, man. The XFL was losing viewership every single week for weeks and weeks. And then all of a sudden, they canceled the season because of the coronavirus. And now they're going to be able to say, hey, look, the reason why we canceled the season because of the coronavirus, even though they probably would have done it 2 or 3 weeks down the road anyway, and now they can come back next year. What do you think about that?
Are they going to be financially viable? That's the first thing.
Yes, they can get that. There's $1.5 trillion out there that the government just signed away for coronavirus relief, and they're going to be at that table trying to get some of that money.
Good point.
Guarantee it.
Real good point.
Yeah. Coronavirus shut us down. We need the money, man.
I
you
think,
know what I mean?
Hey, yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
we're going to be
Why not?
sports. We're going to be sports.
I'm looking for my $1,200 check, baby. You know,
Boom.
We're going to be so
I don't know if
sports
I'll get it,
hungry.
but, hey,
You know, missing March Madness, missing for there are some cities where the XFL fans are missing the XFL, missing March Madness. Baseball's delayed. I think that and hockey, for those who are hockey fans, has been effectively canceled for the rest of the season. I think when we get sports back, and hopefully we get back at football season,
I'm buying season tickets to everything, baby. Woo!
I think people are going to be. I think people are going to be going and watching and participating, because when you don't have it, you realize how much you miss it, and you're not gonna live without it again.
What's
Yeah,
the song,
I think-
Chopper? It goes like this, right? You don't know what you got till it's
gone.
There you go. There you go.
Hey,
Yep.
and I think in a weird kind of funny way, this will kind of bring everybody together. And, if we can all survive what's going on here, when we finally get on the other side of it,
Mm-hmm.
the sporting events and the enthusiasm and the participation that go into them are going to be, exponential in my opinion.
It's going to be great when we get sports back. And
Absolutely.
Guys at the Bar Talking Sports will be able to do something and actually talk about last week's games and the future games, and that's what we'll be able to talk about. Let's go ahead and finish this up with the last topic. Ready? What is the best sports video game ever made? Best sports video game ever made. Chief, do you play video games, or have you played video games in your past?
I have in my past. I definitely like NCAA football. To me, that's the bomb.
The original one, back in like the early 90s?
No.
I think it went up through 2007 or 2008 or something like that, I think. But
the Madden one that they stopped making.
Oh yeah, that was really good. I had that on my short list as well. Chapo, what's yours?
EA Sports NCAA football. I think they stopped it in 2013 or 2014.
EA Sports had one for Super Nintendo. It was pretty awesome, man. I remember that.
I can't. The amount of times. We used to battle just friends just up in the playing that game for hours and hours, and I really miss that game. I understand why they get away with it, but please bring it back.
Bring it back. I've heard that. I've heard rumors that they might. Maybe we can get a Guys at the Bar Talking Sports football game going if they ever bring it back. Boom.
You know what probably would sell a lot right now online is, remember the Wii, where you could play tennis and golf and bowling?
Oh yeah.
We got rid of ours a few years ago because
boxing.
And you could do boxing with it. I
Chief,
think
you realize that they have the VR headsets now, my man. My son has one, and you could literally be standing there in a ring with freaking Mike Tyson, man, and he'll just knock you right the hell out.
I don't know.
It's awesome. You need to get a VR headset, man.
Every time he talks, I'd start laughing.
I watched a guy punch his TV screen using that Oculus.
Oh yeah, I love it. My son got one from Christmas from Santa Claus, and man, I just think it was just the most. It's pretty awesome. But like the sports stuff, you got all kinds of cool stuff. But like you really feel like you're like when you take that thing off, you're like, holy crap, I'm back to reality, baby. It's pretty intense. My favorite sports game of all time is Little League Baseball on the Super Nintendo, man. Remember that game? Does anyone ever played that? Little League Baseball? Yeah, the American team, you got the Japanese team, you got the Mexican team, you got Puerto Rico, Cuba, all these teams, man. That was a freaking awesome game. I don't know why I liked it so much.
What team were you?
If I remember correctly, Japan was pretty damn awesome, man.
Yeah.
Japan was pretty awesome.
There you go.
Those guys can hit the ball like nobody's business, and they had a pretty good fast pitcher. I think one of them was like a sidearm pitcher too, if I remember correctly. But it's been so long, man. But yeah, that's all. Like that's the topics of the day. Does anyone else have another topic to talk about? Bring it up
Chief, if you got it, or forever hold your peace.
So Tampa Bay did sign a backup quarterback to Tom Brady, Blaine
Okay.
Gabbert. He's going to be wearing number 11, and he got a 1-year deal to back up Brady. So because it's a 1-year deal, that makes me think they're already looking out. If Brady does stay 2 years, we got to have somebody who's training, who's working with him right behind the scenes, who's long-term, who's going to start after him.
So you think this guy will get a second year then, or what do you think?
If he
Just
plays
just to see how he does.
Yeah, I don't know that he'll get a second year. I think they need a backup quarterback if Brady gets hurt, but they don't. He may not be the long-term plan.
Do they have any first-round draft picks that they've gained or something like that, where they can probably pick somebody up in a couple of years? I don't know. I mean, that might be interesting to look up and see if they've traded for like some first-round draft picks or something that in like
guys
2 years.
in the back, look it up.
Guys in the bar talking sports. We got people. We got our people. We got B Payne Productions taking care of all the production of this high-tech show that we got. The Chief himself. And we got our people in the back as well. Actually, do you realize, Chopper, somebody actually thought we had people in the back?
They get 7 selections in the
Darn
4th
right.
round.
We have people in the back. I have people in the back. There's people back there.
I know. I'm just trying to make it seem like we're low budget when we have a huge budget. Okay.
Oh,
we don't want our listeners to think that we're too advanced when we go high tech. With
our budget
Zoom
is not huge.
Rooms and all that.
It's massive. It's
so when we're making this much money, we could hire the Chief to come on to take over our production work. You know. Hey.
The Bucks have the 14th pick in the 1st round.
Okay. That'll be next year then, or this year?
That's upcoming. At the end of the month.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so would they take? You don't think they'd take a quarterback then?
I don't think
they wouldn't need a third string. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to take. I don't think they take a third string. I think they're going to be looking for running backs and receivers. They got to have somebody to give the ball to or throw the ball to.
Yep. Oh, for sure. They got to make a team around Brady and build that team around him because he's a pocket quarterback. He's not going to be moving around like Jameis Winston would. Be fun, man. It's going to be an interesting season if they even have one. Let's just keep our fingers crossed and say some prayers. Say some prayers at night and and get this coronavirus thing gone. That's all I got to say. So let's go ahead and wrap up the show then. I think we've gone about 45 minutes. We usually keep this thing down to 30. So this is Hanger. We got Choppa, and we got the Chief. And this is Guys at the Bar talking
sports.
And we out.
I know what you're thinking. Man, that was an amazing show. You know what you should do then? You subscribe to the show. By subscribing, you'll be able to hear the show next week and every show that we come out with from here on out. And then if you really like the show, the thing that you can do is you give it a 5-star rating and review. Whatever podcast you listen to, see if you can give it a 5-star rating and review. I know you can do it on Apple iTunes. And then you know what you do? You come on back next week to hear Guys at the Bar talking sports.